I only profited like $80 over the course of 6 months. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I am so excited for this one. I get this question a lot, and looking at the title, you know what I'm talking about, but I'm just gonna start off. It is currently Monday morning. It's 8:51 a.m. I just quickly got myself ready, got dressed for the day, and I am about to drink my beautiful VA Energy pomegranate blueberry. So good. So I'm gonna open this up if I can. It's so hard to open drinks with my natural nails without breaking one or tearing it, so I have to be careful. Okay, so getting into the video, how did you grow your business without social media? That is a great question. How did I do it? We're gonna be talking a lot about that today. We're going to be talking about the types of social media that I do use, because don't get me wrong, like, I use social media. I try my best at social media marketing. I am bad at it, but it is still there. For those of you who don't know, I sell on Etsy. I make handmade jewelry, and I have said in the past, 99% of my sales do not come from social media. They come from Etsy due to Etsy algorithms, Google ads, different things like that. I can say this. I have only paid to do an ad, like a paid ad, one time, and that was on Instagram, and it got me banned for life. So if any of you guys have any advice on how to get unbanned from Instagram ads, literally let me know. If you guys have any hacks on that. I've been banned from ads for probably 4 years, and I don't even know what I did. They say that I like violated their guidelines, but I have no idea what I did. I'm not gonna get too deep into that, just because like I didn't do anything bad. I was running a giveaway, and apparently I like didn't type it up right, and they didn't like it, and they banned me from running ads. So in that case, I have only run Instagram ads one time. I've never paid for Etsy ads. I've never paid for Google ads. Oh, I lied. I have done Pinterest advertising. I think I've spent like $50 in total. I've only done 2 Pinterest advertisements in the past. That was probably a good 6 months ago. I just let a couple of my trending photos be advertised, and it did help. I think I got a little bit of sales from that, like maybe like a dozen, but okay. So yes, I have paid for 3 different advertisements, and none of them brought me like significant anything. Okay, this is getting to be a really long intro, but in this video, I'm going to be chatting about how I grew my small business up from the ground without social media. In a world that tells you that you need social media, you do not need it. Yes, it is helpful. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm not saying it's unhelpful. I like my hands. So I'm going to be talking about how I grew my how I grew my business without social media. How you can do that. So some of the different tips and tricks that I've learned that you guys can apply to your Etsy stores. So this pretty much only applies if you have an Etsy shop. I can't speak for people who have a Shopify. If you do have a Shopify, I would recommend leaning into social media. So let's get right into it. I am just going to do a quick overview of the history of my business, because that's very important for my journey of having a small business without social media. I need to stop saying without social media. I do have social media, but social media is not the reason why I have a successful business. We got that? Okay. I have, I think, 3,000 followers on Instagram. I get 10,000 views a month on Pinterest, but not many sales. When I look into my Etsy breakdown of all of the where my revenue comes from, literally like 99% of it is Etsy. And I'm gonna check right now, because I haven't checked in a while, just so you guys can get an idea of like where my revenue is coming from. So okay, I'm just on like my breakdown on my revenue thing. So Etsy app and other pages. So this is for this year. This is this year. Should I just say the numbers? I think I'm gonna say the numbers. I don't really care if you guys know the exact numbers. Okay. I think I am just gonna say the exact numbers because it's not that big of a deal, right? So Etsy app and other pages, so that just means like people just clicking through Etsy, shopping around, didn't necessarily search for my items, but they came across it. 35.5 thousand views this year. And then Etsy search 10.7K. Okay, so we have 46K views, like people have clicked on my item and been interested this year on Etsy. Social media, 2,600. And some of you might be like, oh my gosh, like 2,000 people, like almost 3,000 people have been on your website just from social media. That's good. The whole year though, it doesn't bring any money. Yes, there might have been some people that click through it and they're like, oh, I might buy something, but typically you have to have pretty high numbers of traffic to get sales. Usually I've seen it's about 1 in every like 100 people will actually make a purchase. It doesn't mean that those other 99 people aren't interested, but it just means that like for them to actually go through, put in their credit card information, put in their address, because they want your item that badly where they will actually go through the motions and order your stuff. It's about 1 per every 100 people that come across your page. At least in my case, that's me. Your numbers might be different. You might be like, what? Mine are like 1 in 1,000, or mine are like 1 in 10. Like, your stuff is so bad, or yours is good. What are you talking about? That's for me. I would say it's about, for every 100 people that come across my stuff and shop around, 1 person will make an actual sale. Okay. Now that we've cleared that up, I need to talk about my business. Look at you guys, my hands. This is so stupid. I need to work on this. Okay. If you see me looking over here, it's because I'm looking at my computer screen because I don't want to miss any key points I'm reading from my computer. Anyways, so my Etsy store started 4.5 in my college dorm. So my dad had told me that I need to start looking for a job. He said, like, you're gonna have tuition you need to pay. You really just need to look for an on-campus job. And I was like, okay, I can do that. But it's COVID and there are no on-campus jobs. And if there is, you have to wear a mask, which, whatever. But I just was like, I don't know. All my classes are from my dorm. I just want to figure something out that I can do from the comfort of my dorm room. And so my boyfriend, he said, you've been making this jewelry as a hobby in your dorm? Because I was making jewelry, I was wearing it, I was like selling it to family members very minimally. He's like, why don't you try posting it online and see if anybody online would be interested? And I was like, wait, that's actually a pretty good idea. And he's like, so if you were to have this be your income, selling jewelry online, what would the number of sales be that you would need to hit every single day to make it be able to replace if you got a job on campus? So I was like, that's a good question. So on campus, I'd be making probably $12 an hour. And if I'm only working 4 hours a day, it's only like $48 a day if I'm working every day. And I was like, if I could make $100 a day on Etsy, I would say that is sustainable for me. Because there's fees, there's expenses, so at the end of the day, it would probably only be like $60 that I would profit myself. And I was like, that would be worthwhile. And he's okay, so how many sales would that be? And I was like, $100 if I'm selling my items for $10, that is 10 items. And he's okay, so all you have to do is figure out a way to sell 10 items a day. And I was like, how do I do that? 10 items a day is a lot. To convince people to buy from you, 10 items a day is a lot. 10 different people every single day. So I was like, you know what? Challenge accepted. I do not want to work on campus and only get $12 an hour to work at like the bookstore or something. I was like, I'm gonna go for it. So I opened my Etsy store. I think it was like August 29th or something in 2020. And yeah, I didn't make any sales for the first probably 2 weeks. The type of items that I was making at the time, I did a lot of pressed flower jewelry with resin, and so it was more of a tedious thing. You'd have to lay the flowers in there, pour the resin. It was a very tedious craft, and they were one of a kind. So I couldn't be like, I have 10 of these. I would just make one here and there. I started brainstorming ways. How can I make this more efficient? How can I make things that, like, if they were to be super popular and take off, and even if they became like a bestseller on Etsy, something that I can replicate in an efficient way where I'm not sitting here being tedious with all these little flowers and petals and stuff. I started going on Pinterest and Etsy and brainstorming and finding the jewelry that was viral at the time. So in 2020, it was a lot of simple hoop earrings, how it is now, but very minimal, and a lot of like little just simple charms. And it was the start of kind of the charm earring, charm bracelet type trend. And so I started making like little hoops with charms that I would order on Amazon, and nothing was like super high quality. I would get my stuff just like in bulk, and they'd all be like silver plated, gold plated, and so they weren't high quality. And I was selling them for, I remember one of the pieces I posted for $5 on Etsy because that's what I thought people wanted to pay, was like $4.99. And get this, my shipping cost was $4. So I was only profiting $1. This is so bad. This is before I had all of my like cost breakdowns. I just guesstimated in my head. I was like, okay, if I'm selling them for $5 and the supplies are like, I don't know, probably like 20 cents for me to make, and then I'm shipping them for $4, I'm profiting 80 cents, and if I can sell 10 of those, then that's $8 profit. And like, it was so bad. It was so bad. I just wanted to get my foot in the door and start making sales. And I'm not saying that you should undersell your work, but like, low key, me selling like those cheap items got my sales up. I'm not kidding you, because I was selling such cheap jewelry. And I'm not saying it helped the longevity of my business. I'm sure those pieces that I made back then were falling apart. I am sure people were only able to wear them for a week and they would start to turn green, but they were only $5. So people probably didn't even care. I never had a bad review because people expected it. And this is not great advice. All I'm saying is, in my experience, looking back, I do think that was a boost for me. I'm not saying that you should buy and make like Temu jewelry or crap that's cheapo. And I'm not saying I made a ton of sales or anything either. Like, I probably only made like 100 sales in 6 months or something. And don't get me wrong, 100 sales, you're like, oh my gosh, that's actually a lot. When you're only making 80 cents profit, I only profited like $80 over the course of 6 months of me like grinding my business, being like, yay, I made a sale. I made 2 sales today. That is not a sustainable lifestyle. It's not sustainable if you want to eventually quit your job and go into being a jeweler full-time. No. So basically, that's what I was seeing. It wasn't until I created something actually from my brain, my good old noggin up here, something that I created from scratch, no inspiration found online. I was just plinking away with my beads, and I had gotten some wire, and I had 8mm beads that I got at Hobby Lobby, and I was like, I really like these, but I don't know what I'm going to do with them. And I was looking at them, and I was like, how can I fasten these into an earring? And I came up with my April earrings. I'm going to show you what my April earrings look like. This is my April earrings. This is my very first style that ever went, I don't know if you want to call it like viral, but it low-key did. So I basically, like I said, I had beads, and I was looking at the beads. I was just staring at the string of beads, and I was like, what am I going to do with these? These beads are kind of big, because they are. They're not small. They're kind of big. I can't do more than one on a thing. That's going to be heavy. Nobody's going to want to buy that. And then I was like, can I just figure out a way to dress up this one bead a little bit so it's just the star of the show? So I was messing around with my wire, and I came up with this. Very simple, but the key is that I came up with it off the top of my head with my own brain. I wasn't using like social media, Pinterest. I wasn't using Etsy trends to influence me. I literally was using something from my own brain. And that is what is key, because I posted those. I think I had 5 colors at the time. I made them in just gold and silver plated. I was selling them for $4.99 still. I posted them for $4.99. And they started selling, like, just like crazy selling. And I was like, oh dang, right away I upped my prices to $7.99. I was like, okay, I cannot make this many and only profit 80 cents. I cannot. So I increased my pricing. I remember bumping them up to $7.99. They kept selling, and I'm not saying that they were like, I was selling like hundreds a day. Like, I mean, I was probably selling 3-4 pairs a day, but they were selling consistently, and I was like, okay, I need to replicate these. So I really nailed my wire wrapping technique. I learned how to do it without putting any dents with the pliers. Like, I learned how to do it without scuffing up the wire. And so then I increased my pricing to $9.99, and that's where I was stuck because they kept selling, and I just, some reason, because I was like a broke college kid, it just was hard for me to go above that $9.99 price point because, okay, now you're going from 9, a single digit number, to 10, 11, 12, 13, whatever, a 2-digit number. As a buyer, it looks like a lot more money when it's only a few dollars more. It visually looks like more money. And so I was really nervous. I was like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't want people to be like, oh, she's selling these little earrings. She's selling these little earrings for $12. They're literally just a gemstone on a hook. They're nothing crazy. Why is she charging that much? But you got to pay your bills. You got to get through college. You got to pay your tuition somehow. I wasn't working an on-campus job. Like I said, I needed to pay my bills. So I eventually increased my pricing. And this time I went up to $12.99. They kept selling. And if anything, they started selling more because you get rid of the audience that are trying to just bargain shop and have a quick cheapo little buy. And you get into the people that might be like, oh, this girl, like, she's making them by hand, all that stuff. Oh, and keep in mind, I was charging $0 for shipping for customers, so I was paying that out of pocket. So anytime you hear $12, automatically subtract $4 from that, because, like, I was paying that out of pocket. So then it's $8 that I make, and then you still have to think about my expenses that I put into it. How much does the business card cost? How much does the gemstone cost? How much is it for me to take my time and make that item, put it on the card, package it, ship it out the door? How much does your like physical package cost? You're still not taking into account for that. So $8 is probably now $6. So all the time that I was going through to package these orders, each one was only profiting me $6. So if I was going through packaging 5 packages, like, yay, I made $60. No. Once you subtract all that out, you made $30 profit, and it took you 2 hours to do it. So you're making $15 an hour, and you still have to go back in, order more materials. You have to market your stuff. You have to learn about Etsy algorithms. You have to photograph, all that stuff. So that is why I started thinking about those different things, and I was like, $12 is not enough. I'm getting really good at this little wire wrapping thing. I'm getting good at packaging. I'm getting good at taking photographs. I increased my pricing to $14.99. They kept selling. I increased it to $17.99. They kept selling. I increased them to $19.99. It's just, as long as people are buying your stuff, they are worth that much money that they're paying. Your stuff is only worth the amount that people will pay. So if I posted these online for $100 and somebody bought it, to that person, they are worth $100 because they convinced themselves, I want these for $100. So to somebody that is just a bargain shopper, only wants $5 earrings, they want the $2, like Amazon finds, good for them. We're all different, but that's not my target audience. So I'm like, for my time, I'm in college, I'm taking finals, all this stuff, I need to be paid for my time. So long story short, here we are now. I'm selling them for, you guessed it, $23.99. The good thing about getting good at your craft is you're getting paid more for your skills, and your skills are letting you create your items more efficiently. So now that we got that kind of settled down, the reason I did not need to use social media marketing is because these little earrings, they're unique, right? Yes, you might be like, they're so basic, like they're just a little gemstone. What do you mean they're unique? The wire wrapping is unique. In the sunlight, they do glisten a lot. Like, the lighting here is pretty trash because it is a gloomy day and there's no lighting right here, but they're unique. I'm not going on and copying somebody that's on Pinterest and just buying charms and putting them together to replicate another earring that might be going viral. You have to come up with stuff off the top of your head with your own creativity. And I'm not saying that you can't use other people for inspiration. If you want to go on and be like, oh, I'm obsessed with this jeweler, she makes jewelry with polymer clay, I love it, I love her style, that's great. But you cannot copy, because that artist is already well established. If somebody goes on Etsy and sees, you know, your shop where you're just trying to start out, you're trying to get a few sales, they see that you have 10 sales, and then they find this other shop. Yes, she might be charging a little bit more, but she has 10,000 sales. 95% of people are going to be like, I'm going to pay the extra $20 and get from this shop. I know it's going to be good quality. I know it's going to be reliable. She has multiple thousands of good 5-star reviews. I'm just going to go with her. Yes, you might get a few people that are like, I don't really care. I just want a cheap pair of earrings. It doesn't matter. But long-term sustainability, you want to stand out from all the different shops that are on Etsy. And like I said before, this only applies to Etsy. I'm not talking about Shopify. I'm not talking about these other websites that are independent. My strategies work for marketplaces like Etsy, where people are going to be comparing your stuff with other people, and other people's shops are going to be on there so that shoppers can compare and pick the best one. Okay. So with the success of my April earrings, these are called April earrings, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that, but yes, they are called April earrings. These are named after yours truly. Okay, anyways, so with the success of these earrings, I started to lean away from just the miscellaneous, kind of more like widely available jewelry. Like I was talking about, the simple little hoops with charms, the kind of more basic stuff. And I started leaning into the style because clearly people love these. I'm starting to charge like $20 for these earrings and people are paying it. And so I'm like, okay, I had a lot of people asking like, do you make a matching necklace? And I'm like, matching necklace. So I came out with my Gina necklace, that's what it's called. I don't have one just like right here, but it looks just like one of these pendants right here. It's the same size, it's the same wire wrap, and you can just wear it. I came out with those. I came out with my Coralie earrings. Those are not the ones that, they're like these littler ones, but with an ear hook. So they're like my April earrings, but just a size smaller and with an ear hook. I came out with my Cora earrings, which are these that I'm wearing right now. They're the smaller stone, but on a little hoop. I came out with my Everly earrings, which are these like tiny baby earrings. I sleep in these. I never take them out. Sounds like we just got a sale. Okay. Anyways, I came out with matching necklaces to match these. I came out with different chain styles that can go with these pendants. I came out with more unique ways to wire wrap. I did 2 stacked up with my Jamie earrings. It's just a simple wire wrap. I just really heavily leaned into this style because if people like something, they want more of that item. They're gonna look on your store for similar items that can go with the thing that they already have and the thing that they already love. If you just have one pair of earrings on your store that's going crazy and you're like, why aren't people buying my other stuff? Ask yourself, is it similar enough to this where people would maybe want to make a set out of it? Or like if you have something like tote bags, you're selling tote bags and they're selling well and you're like, I wish people would go on and buy my other stuff. I make planners, I make sticker sets, I make scrunchies, that type of thing. Maybe instead of leaning so hard into your other areas, maybe focus on tote bags. Maybe make tote bag accessories, make like pouches, things that go with the tote bags, that vibe, not so distant of items. If you want to keep selling those items, that's fine. I'm sure you got to do what you love to do. But if something is actually selling and there is interest for it, you need to take advantage of that momentum and create things that when people buy your item, they're gonna go back and be like, oh, I'm obsessed with this tote bag. She doesn't have anything else though, and I don't want another tote bag. I want similar things of that similar quality, similar style, but maybe aren't another tote bag. Like, you know, I want a little pouch that goes in it. I want a little organizer that can go in it. I want a keychain. Other things that are gonna encourage people to lean into that product and take advantage of your momentum that you have with your product at the moment. So that is what I did with these guys. I really leaned into this wire wrapping style and created my shop around this. And it really encourages people to view your website as a brand, not just, oh, she has jewelry, but it's just like all over the place. Like, she doesn't really specialize in anything. Like, it's more just, you know, she has some hoop earrings, she has some kind of fancy like wedding earrings, she has, you know, some different bracelets that are just simple chains. Like, she doesn't have a ton of things where I can make a set and increase my purchase order number. That's another thing, is having similar items in your shop. It really encourages bigger orders, because if I have somebody purchasing these, they might be like browsing through my website and be like, oh my gosh, those little ones, like I can make a set, like I can wear these together, that's so cute, rather than just being like, oh, these are the only things on our shop that I like. Because typically if somebody likes this, they're gonna like this, they're gonna like this. So instead of having a store that targets a wide variety of people and anyone can shop there, you know, your whole store needs to be about your brand and your niche, okay? Keyword niche. That is what you need to find. You need to find your niche. You need to find something that describes you. If somebody can sit down, scroll through your website and be like, yes, it's cool, but I know like 5 other companies that have this same exact stuff that I probably would just buy from them. If they say that, then you need to niche down. You need to create something with the top of your head. I know you can do it, okay? Don't sell yourself short either. I know you can do it. You have a brain, you have unique ideas, you have a style. I know everybody has a style. And that's not saying that you need to come up with something that has never been done before. Everything's already been done before, you might say. With the internet, you see so many things, so many cool businesses, so many cool styles of things, so many aesthetics, so many vibes. Everything kind of has been done before, right? But what you need to do is curate a brand that screams you, something you would wear, something you would use, something you can create, something that sets you apart. You know, you might be like, I sell notebooks and planners. There's so many people out there that sell notebooks and planners. How will I ever compete? Make your brand something that people aren't going to be like, oh, I can get this somewhere else. Put a spin on it. Decorate them in a way that screams to a certain niche of people. I promise you, you might be like, but my planner website, it can apply to everyone. Yes, but you're gonna make more sales when you have those customers that are devoted to you. Instead of appealing to the whole crowd, you need to appeal to a 5% chunk, and those people are gonna be obsessed with your brand the way that you are. Like, you might be like, I am obsessed with these planners that come with these cute little stickers that are like little like coffee cups and mugs and like a cafe vibe planner. I want each month to have like a seasonal drink kind of theme. Like, I want my month of February to be like a hot cocoa one, and I want July to have sticker sets of like iced tea and like lemonade. Like, that would set you apart. If you made a planner brand that had that uniqueness in it, you will draw away from those other companies that are just blending in with the crowd. I'm sorry this video is getting super long, but there's so much to talk about because I'm just talking about Etsy in general. And yes, this part does apply. If you can find a good way to market your stuff, say you come up with an amazing unique brand, say you make your planners, you get them all created and you're like, I love this, people are going to be obsessed. Then you can go on and do social media marketing. You can go on Instagram, make some reels, show how your stuff can be used. And that's another step that you can take. I personally don't have like time for that. Like, I know you're gonna probably be like, don't say that. Like, you make time. Like, if you wanted to, you would. True. That is very true. But the problem is that I don't want to. That's my issue. I'm a lazy girl. I just want to study up on my Etsy algorithms and have my stuff sell. I am not keen about making reels. I'm not super thrilled about sitting down and like editing a little video. I'm not big on social media marketing. So take this information to build your Etsy shop, to build your store, and apply that to then social media, and that will continue to let you grow. I'm not saying that social media doesn't work. It does work. I promise you it does work. I personally just have not done it. I bet you if I sat down, grinded Instagram, I posted reels to Facebook, I posted to Pinterest and really hammered out all the algorithms, I could probably like triple my sales. But the effort that takes is not something that I personally want to dive into. I'm sorry if this is so scatterbrained. Like, I hope I'm making sense. I hope that you guys are actually taking something away from this and not like, I don't understand what she's saying. Okay. So then the last thing that I want to talk about is Etsy algorithms. This is Etsy alone, and this is my personal experience. I'm going to say that again. This is what I've learned. This is how I've gotten so far. So let's just chat about that a little bit. So if you're going to be selling on Etsy, you need to take the time to learn their algorithms. If you are not hammering in on how to get your stuff on the top of the top list, on the very first search page, if somebody searches earrings and you're not on the first 5-10 pages, the algorithm isn't keyed in better than your competitors, right? Your competitors are learning their keywords and how to apply those to their shop better than you. And that's as simple as it is. Yes, there is some, on Etsy, there is some like priority set to people that have made more sales. There is more priority set to, you know, if a item is selling like rapidly, they will boost that to keep that momentum going. But in general, the majority of the search is going to be the algorithms and keywords, tags, title, description. Personally, I learned all this before ChatGPT and AI was like really a thing. I did all this learning in 2021, 2022. ChatGPT was not a thing. Obviously, I'm gonna say do this apart from ChatGPT. You need to really know what to look for in order to adjust your ChatGPT search. Yes, you can use AI to form a description, but make sure that you're adding your own personal voice to it. People, I promise you, people can tell when you're using AI. It sounds fake, it sounds generic. And another thing is the way that AI works is it searches the internet for previously created descriptions, titles, that type of thing, takes those and jumbles it into yours. You are not free from plagiarism, from copyright when you are using ChatGPT and other sources. I think they're maybe getting a little bit better than that, but just to stay safe and keep your shop from getting shut down, getting people coming at you and being like, you took my description. Because ChatGPT does not give you its sources, right? You don't know if it took a whole sentence from a different seller. They could notice that. So just to be safe. And I'm not an internet expert. I'm not a ChatGPT expert or an AI expert. Please don't come for me if I misspoke. Maybe I just misunderstand how this stuff works. That's very possible. So just keep an eye open for that stuff. But basically, you need to study Etsy's algorithms. So the way that Etsy search works is it takes the keywords that you put into like your title, your description, your tags, the different fields that you fill out when you publish a listing. It takes those and works with it, looks at it. And so if somebody goes through and searches handmade tote bag or something, the people that pop up at the top are going to be the best matches and also probably have some sales going, momentum. But if somebody goes in and searches like Harry Potter tote bag or something and you make that, you need to make sure that you are at the top of that because that person knows what they are looking for. If somebody is searching a generic search, they might not necessarily know what they're looking for. They might just be browsing around. They might be like, oh, I love tote bags. I just don't know what kind of color I want to buy today. I don't know what style. But if somebody is searching something like coffee lover tote bag and you make a coffee lover's tote bag, you better make sure that you're at the top and you better make sure that you match those because your thing is exactly what they're looking for. And if that never comes across their screen, you might never make a sale. So for example, I'm gonna take this back to my April earrings. Let's just go back in time. I'm gonna post these on Etsy. I just made these. They're super cute. I got my branding, but I don't know what to call them. What are these? They're just little earrings. I don't know. They're just little earrings. I make them with gemstones. There's a little bit of wire on it. I don't know. Not good enough. You need to think of what would you search to find this? What would you search? I would search small gemstone earrings, colorful crystal dangle earrings, lightweight jewelry for women, bridesmaids jewelry, bridesmaids gifts, gifts for grandma, gifts for mom. Those are generic. If you really want to hone in on my ideal customer, somebody that is like most likely going to make a purchase. Lightweight crystal jewelry, gold-filled earrings with crystals. I also offer sterling silver. Sterling silver dangle earrings, hypoallergenic earrings for sensitive skin. High quality handmade jewelry. Yeah, like literally there's so many. I'm sorry if like I'm just blanking because I'm just going off the top of my head, but that's the easiest way that I have found to come up with tags and keywords and stuff, is to think about what your ideal customer is going to search. Your customer, this might be exactly what they're looking for, but unless it never comes across their page, they never buy it. So I work retail. I also work at a greenhouse, and sometimes I'll ask a customer, "Hi there, can I help you find anything today?" And they might say, "Oh no, I'm just browsing. I'll know when I see it." Or if you're buying a gift for somebody, you're walking around TJ Maxx and you're like, "I don't know what I want to get them, but I'll know when I see it. I'll know. It'll be there." That's what you need to have in mind when you're posting your stuff. They'll know when they see it. They might not know exactly like, I want lightweight gemstone dangle earrings that are gold and are handmade and they're made in North Dakota. They might not know that, but unless they come across it, they don't know. So you need to make sure it comes across their screen. So you might be like, okay, yes, I know that I need to come up with things that people would search, but how do I know what the top performing keywords are? Like, how am I supposed to know if this keyword is even searched by other people? I might just be a weirdo and search that. There are lots of websites out there that list out popular keywords on Etsy right now. The specific one that I use is called Etsy Hunt. I do pay for it. You can do some stuff on there for free, but I mean, if you're serious about selling on Etsy, it's something worth looking into. And all those other websites do charge, but I think Etsy Hunt is the best one that actually has a little like free period that you can try it out and see if you actually want to pay. Anyways, you can search on their website gemstone earrings, and it's going to pull up all the top performing items from Etsy that are selling the most lately. It's going to show you all of their stats. It's going to show you like how many they've sold recently, and then it's also going to tell you their tags that they use. Okay, so keep this in mind. Do not go on there and just copy everyone's tags. Be like, "Ooh, this is the #1 selling jewelry item on Etsy this week. I'm just going to copy all their tags because then I'm going to be put at the top, right? Then I'm just going to be higher up than them." No, you're not. Because that person is making a ton of sales. They are already at the top. Etsy pushes things that are selling a lot. Algorithms are very important. So is how often are these things selling. So if something is selling, they've sold like 100 items this week and they're just like the hottest buy, they are going to be #1. They just are. But yeah, so that item is already going to be at the top. It might be worthwhile to use some of those and integrate some of those into your listing. They probably have put their personal spin on that item. And so you need to put your personal spin on your item, and then that needs to reflect in your tags. So if they're searching the keywords that person uses, your item might not even be what that person wants. But keep in mind, that is a good tip. If you're just looking for ideas, like what are some of these top performers using? Is there something that they know that I don't? That can be a good tool to get yourself on the right track. Maybe that is something that shoppers are looking for lately. And keep in mind, the things that people search for change. So you need to be constantly updating your listings. You know, make sure that you're not having things in there that say, if it's summertime, make sure you don't have any tags that say Christmas, because you can take that out and put in something that's actually being searched right now. Say it's like May, and you have 3 keywords in your space that are like Christmas gifts, stocking stuffers, gifts for grandkids, that type of thing. You need to go in and delete those and put in seasonal keywords that actually people are searching right now, because you're wasting 3 keywords that could potentially be used for something that people are actually searching now. And then one last thing is, There's actually an article out there right now that Etsy officially published. It's like a blog post or something. I found it coming across my like dashboard on Etsy, like the sell on Etsy dashboard thing. It's basically a blog post article listing out literally how they run their algorithms, right? So there's no excuse. You might be like, April, you aren't credible, like you're not Etsy. I need to hear it from the source themselves. But you can, because they came up with an article. Let me just find it. It's called Keywords 101, Everything You Need to Know. They just posted this on August 28th, so this is right now what they're looking for. And it basically just walks you through, just in general, what categories mean, what your attributes mean for search, titles, descriptions, tags, and then it tells you what to do and what not to do with your tags. So if you're like, April, you literally are just rambling the entire time, I didn't even learn anything, what was this video? Go on this and get it from the source. And I'll take it in the description, actually. I can take it in the description. But yeah, this, I read through this and I was like, dang, there's some stuff in here that I did not know. But basically it's just saying, you know, if you're using things as tags, you don't need to double them up in your description. Etsy does not want just lists of tags in the description. They want nice sentences that are easy for customers to read. And with their new AI type stuff, they can actually tell when you've just blasted a bunch of keywords into the description in a big chunk and listed them all out, or if you've worked them into your description fluently, and they will penalize you. Like, they won't bump you if you just have them in a big block. I think I might have a couple items on my shop that have a block of keywords and I need to go in and delete those. But back in the day, like, that didn't matter, right? Like, as long as the word was there, it worked. But now they're using like AI and different things to search through your listings, and if you just have a big chunk of keywords, they don't like that, and you're not going to be ranked the same as if you were to just work them in and nicely write them and make it easy for customers to read. Same with your titles as well. They want your titles to be nice, fluent phrases rather than just a bunch of keywords all thrown in there, because customers don't like that, right? Like when you're shopping on Amazon and you click on an item and the title is literally just a bunch of blasted keywords and you're like, I don't even know what this item is. Like, it's just a bunch of keywords, and then you have to go and read the description. That's annoying. So I filmed the original portion of this video this morning, but I was watching back the footage and realized that I forgot to mention, you guys are literally so sweet. I was looking back at all the comments that you guys left me, and my first video, it only got 1,000 views, which, like, only 1,000 views, that I can't believe that 1,000 people have watched my video. That is actually insane. That's like a lot of people that sat down and actually listened to me talk, and like, I just wanted to pop on and say thank you for everything that you guys said to me. I got, I think as of now, 20-ish comments on it, but like literally every single one of you guys has been so sweet, so encouraging, so reassuring that like the way that I'm doing this is okay. And I'm like, oh my gosh, the way that you guys actually took the time to compliment me and encourage me, like, I just can't. So I just wanted to hop on and say thank you. And also the amount of people that actually like actively went on and purchased from me and have left me messages at checkout saying, I found you on YouTube and like I had to place an order. Like, only 1,000 people saw that, you guys, and I am getting orders from you guys. Like, that, I never expected this in a million years. Like, I was seriously expecting like 15 views and like maybe one comment from like one of my friends, but like, you guys are all so sweet. Right now we got, I think, 70 subscribers, which is more than I ever could have dreamed of for my very first video. It was only 12 minutes long, but that's okay. I am feeling so encouraged. Like, I'm feeling like I can do anything, literally because of you guys. So I just realized that I forgot to mention that, but that seriously is the best feeling in the world, to have so many strangers out there like encouraging you. Like, you did not have to do that, but you did. So I love all you guys. Back to the rest of the video. Okay, so I am going to end this here. I feel like this turned out to be more of like an Etsy algorithm type of lesson. So I'm just gonna end this here. I hope I was somewhat helpful. I just really wanted to share like my experience, because I have had a lot of questions like, April, your Instagram only has like 3,000 followers. How do you literally have 13,000 sales on Etsy? What do you do? And there's a lot of things that you can do. I'm not saying that like I'm a master at it. A lot of it is due to luck and just how the way that things have worked out. But a lot of it is due to just learning those algorithms, making sure that your stuff is easy to read, and giving your customers no reason to back away from you. Giving them no reason to be like, oh, her shop is inactive. She has a bunch of Christmas tags, and a lot of the stuff says Mother's Day on it, but it's July, like Mother's Day was a while back. So just making sure that everything is very presentable to your customers, and just be you. Don't copy other people. Buyers are gonna notice, especially people that are on Etsy. People shopping on Etsy are looking for an authentic, real connection. And you get that more by expressing you, making a collection of your items that all flow together. Everything's a similar vibe, everything is your style. You're gonna attract customers that really connect with you and appreciate your style. They have the same aesthetic as you, and you're gonna make more sales that way rather than just trying to be a one-fits-all type of store. So I hope I covered everything. If you guys have any questions on anything, let me know in the comments. There's no TMI here. Ask anything about me, my business. I'm happy to answer you guys. And yes, I appreciate you guys. And oh, don't forget to subscribe if you want to follow along. I'm going to be posting lots of these types of videos, lots of Etsy advice, how to start small businesses, how to grow, my experience with things, and a little bit of my small business life. Okay, I am done talking. I need to finish my V8 because you already know I've just been rambling this entire time and I have not even taken any drinks. So I will see you in the next one. I love you guys. Bye.